The Forging of a Nation: How Nigeria Came to Be. The story of how Nigeria was found is not one of discovery by a single explorer, but a complex tapestry woven from the threads of ancient kingdoms, British colonial ambition, and the eventual amalgamation of diverse peoples. The modern state of Nigeria was formally created on January 1, 1914, but its roots stretch back centuries. A land of ancient kingdoms, pre-colonial era. Long before the arrival of Europeans, the land that is now Nigeria was home to a multitude of sophisticated and well-organized kingdoms and societies. Some of the most prominent included the Nok culture, flourishing from around 1500 BC to 500 AD in central Nigeria. The Nok are renowned for their advanced ironwork and distinctive terracotta sculptures, representing one of the earliest complex civilizations in West Africa. The Kingdom of Nri, located in the southeastern region and considered the cradle of Igbo culture, this theocratic state, which emerged around the 9th century, exerted significant religious and political influence over a large part of Igboland. The Yoruba kingdoms. In the southwest, powerful city-states like Ife, Oyo, and Benin rose to prominence. Ife was a spiritual center, famous for its exquisite bronze and terracotta art, while the Oyo Empire became a formidable military and political force. The Benin Kingdom, with its magnificent bronze castings, developed a highly centralized state. The Hausa states and the Kanem-Borno Empire. In the north, the Hausa city-states such as Kano, Katsina, and Zaria were vital centers of trade and Islamic scholarship. To the northeast, the Kanem-Borno Empire, with a history spanning over 1,000 years, was a major power in the Lake Chad region. The Sokoto Caliphate. In the early 19th century, a jihad led by Usman Dan Fodio led to the establishment of the Sokoto Caliphate, a vast Islamic empire that encompassed most of the Hausa states and beyond. These diverse groups had their own systems of government, trade networks, and cultural practices, often interacting through commerce and conflict. The arrival of the British and the seeds of colonization. The first significant European contact with the coastal regions of what would become Nigeria was through the transatlantic slave trade in the 15th century. By the 19th century, following the abolition of the slave trade, British interests shifted towards trade in commodities like palm oil. This economic interest gradually led to increased political and military intervention. In 1861, the British annexed Lagos, establishing it as a crown colony. Over the following decades, through a combination of treaties, trade agreements, and military conquests, Britain expanded its influence. The Royal Niger Company was instrumental in this process, administering territories along the Niger River. By the turn of the 20th century, the British had consolidated their control over the region, which was divided into two main administrative areas. The Southern Nigeria Protectorate, comprising the Lagos colony and the territories in the Niger Delta and along the lower Niger. The Northern Nigeria Protectorate, encompassing the Sokoto Caliphate and other inland territories. The Amalgamation of 1914, the birth of modern Nigeria. For reasons of administrative convenience and economic expediency, the British colonial administrator, Sir Lord Lugard, advocated for the merging of the two protectorates. The Northern Protectorate was not as economically prosperous as the Southern Protectorate, and amalgamation would allow for the use of the South's resources to govern the North. On January 1, 1914, the Northern and Southern Protectorates were formally amalgamated to create the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. This act brought together a vast and diverse array of ethnic and cultural groups under a single administration, often with little regard for their historical relationships. Lord Lugard became the first Governor-General of the newly formed entity. The naming of Nigeria. The name Nigeria was suggested by a British journalist named Flora Shaw in an article for the Times of London in 1897. She coined the name from the Niger River, which is the country's most prominent geographical feature. Flora Shaw would later marry Lord Lugard. The name is a testament to the importance of the river in the history and geography of the region. In essence, Nigeria was not found as an empty land, but rather formed through the forceful and strategic unification of long-existing and diverse nations by colonial power. This historical context is crucial to understanding the country's rich cultural tapestry, as well as some of its contemporary political and social dynamics. Nigeria gained its independence from British rule on October 1, 1960.
Want more exclusive content like this? Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Storyline Narrative.